Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name's Stuart. Dawn of the Storm Dragon is very nearly with us, or very, very nearly up for pre-order, depending on when you're watching this video, of course. And with a new release, we often get articles on Warcom, and it's no different this time around. And one of those articles has some really, really cool pictures in, which has led to what I'm going to describe as a quick emergency video.
Miniature Realms is proudly sponsored by Counter-Attack Bases. They stock a wide range of counters, gaming aids and movement trays for multiple game systems and offer custom items to suit your club or even your podcast or YouTube channel. Check out the link in the video description.
Now, I'm not going to discuss any of the details from that book. I know some of that's been leaked already. I will give my own thoughts on the channel for the book and for any miniatures related to this release as soon as I am able to do so. So look out for that on the channel very, very soon. But what I can talk about are articles that are on Warcom, and I really, really wanted to talk about this picture in particular. Not only is this picture great, I love these kind of setup scenes, but it appears to show the Grand Cathayan army landing in what I assume to be Marienburg, led by Miao Ying. They're just getting off what appears to be a Cathayan ship, and the questions for me are all around what is this Cathayan ship made out of? This sort of thing really excites me, not just because I'm a miniature painter and I look at miniatures and look at pictures of miniatures like this far more than I do rules, but also because it does show potential future possibilities for the game. Now, I will be clear, this isn't a tinfoil hat style video. I'm excited, but I'm also going to be reasonable about it as well. And it is possible, and I'll say this right up front, that all of the extra stuff we see here has just been made in-house for a display or for these pictures, and we might never see them as kits. There are many things that have been shown in pictures in White Dwarfs and army books over the years that have never gone on general sale. So I'm not saying this is definitely coming, but I thought it would be fun to look at all of the different new elements that we can see there and share it with you guys as much as you can see it yourself, but to start a discussion in the comments about what you think it might be, and we can get all excited together and dream about stuff that might never actually turn up. So with that in mind, let's break down the parts bit by bit. Let's start with the most obvious thing, for me anyway, and that's those sails and the masts and the boom arm around them. And I'm going to assume that the smaller one behind is perspective, and that's further away, which seems pretty obvious, but you never know sometimes with the way pictures flatten perspective a little bit. But assuming they're the same size, the sail looks the same design as the Sky Lantern sail, but if you look at a Sky Lantern, you'll see that that is double, maybe triple the size of the little sails that are on the sides of the basket. So that suggests to me that that is from a new kit. Doesn't mean it's a boat kit, but it could well be from a larger Sky Lantern style kit. We've had talk about Sky Junks and things, and I know there are other flying kits that exist in Total War. But if you look at the sail and the way it's designed, it looks to me like it's plastic, or at least 3D printed, and it looks to be 3D designed, not scratch built to look the same. If it has been scratch built, then wow, that's incredible, but it does look very uniform in its design and very smooth and very 3D designed. And then the boom arm itself as well is the same design as the ones that go on the side of the current Sky Lantern. It may well be slightly bigger as well to house that larger, what appears to be a larger sail. It's not impossible that it is the same one, and just the sails being partly scratch built, etc. That isn't impossible, but for me it looks like it's either come from a new kit, or they have access to 3D renders and things for kits that weren't made and were able to 3D print them and use them for this kind of purpose, which is entirely possible. As like I said at the beginning, doesn't mean this is definitely coming, but that is not just scratch built as far as I'm concerned. That looks like it's at very least 3D printed and could be part from a larger kit, which would be amazing. Whether that's a Sky Lantern or some kind of ship, who knows, but I think it looks really, really cool. So if we zoom in past the sails, we can get a closer look at the actual ship itself. Now, most of the hull is hidden out of the way with all the other stuff in view, so it's hard to tell. And I can imagine that being scratch built. It's the kind of thing you can imagine being scratch built for a display. Hopefully this is something we will see on display somewhere. It wasn't just done for mock-ups for the book, and it's something that will be in Warhammer World's exhibition. You never know, I'm hopeful. But again, if we look at the boat, there is a tiled roof there that's slightly sagging that doesn't resemble any other kit I can remember or recognise from GW. That's something new. Now, is that a kit, or is that something that they've scratch built or 3D designed and printed for this process? They don't often do that much with that kind of thing. Not for buildings, as far as I can remember. Back in the old days they did, but since they've had their own plastic kits, they tend to reuse those. And all the other buildings in this picture are the same couple of kits that we've had for years, just reused and repurposed and kit bashed together and cut and all those things. But this isn't made from that. This is a different set of tiles. Obviously a very Cathayan style, a very sort of Chinese-esque Eastern style. So I think that that's potentially could be something new. And then there's obviously a building part under it, or a structure under it, which is forming the back of the boat there. But could that be a building kit? Could we be looking at two kits here? A newer, bigger lantern, a junk maybe, and then is this some kind of Cathayan building, and do those railings come from it as well? Are they doing their own kind of pagoda kit? The other option is that is also part of a future large Sky Lantern junk style thing as well, but I'd be really interested on your thoughts on it. And furthermore, if you zoom really far in, there's little detailed intricate designs on the windows as well that are repeated over each window, and again they are clearly something slightly different. And there's even questions over the ogre that's standing in front there. Is that just from the ogre kit? It looks like it mostly, but that hat's slightly different as well. Maybe it's just my brain working in a different way. But there's lots of little trinkets, and I'm sure that by making a video like this and asking other people to comment on it, there will be things that I've missed, and then you can share it with me as well and say, have you seen this bit, have you seen that bit? And please do in the comments. Let's get a conversation going around this. But anyway, there's just so much detail just in that one picture alone. If you zoom in a bit more to the side of the ship, there's more repeated designs all the way around. I'd love to know how they made it, whether it's kits or whether it's scratch built, and if it has been made by the team that make all the big display boards for the exhibition. I don't know if it has, but if it has been, then hopefully we get to see it in Warhammer World, but also hopefully they make a video on it. Just last night, actually, I watched a video on Warhammer TV when they were showing and talking about how the team made the huge display for the Horus Heresy Isfahan 5 board, and that was really cool. If you've got Warhammer TV, go and watch it. Really nice little video. Just reminds me of watching the extras videos for big movies when they talk about how they make models and stuff. There's a little bit of that vibe going on there. It's really cool to see. It's a shame it's behind the paywall on Warhammer TV and not on the YouTube channel, but they are putting more free videos up at the moment, so it is worth checking out them. Anyways, it might be free to view at some point. But anyway, I'm going off a little bit of a tangent there. Please do in the comments below, let me know your thoughts on that. Whether you think it's one new kit, two new kit, just scratch built. I'd love to get excited and chat with you all about it in the comments. If you're new to the channel, I do a lot of old world stuff, so do check it all out. I try to cover each release. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I will be covering this new release of book and the miniatures as soon as I am able to. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel and keep a lookout very soon for content on the new releases and all of the new ones going forward. I love this game and will continue to cover it. Anyway, if you would like to support me and the channel, please do check out the links in the video description, including my Patreon. I really appreciate all the support I get from my patrons at the moment. It really helps me keep the lights on, but there are other affiliate links and things in there as well. If you have just enjoyed the video, do just give it a like, subscribe to the channel as I've already mentioned, and drop those comments. It really helps the video in itself. But thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you soon.